Okay, and we're back, baby! So, I thought I'd continue on my streak of sci-fi space games to present this little gem, an RPG, a space-borne RPG, which is really awesome, by the way. I really love it. It has a huge, well, huge. It has a good amount of lore that translates well into the game. Lots of difficulties, lots of tactics and stuff. I'll show it off a bit. I'm not going to make a whole new character. I'm just gonna slightly present the things that are available to you, so it lets me, think about all the things in the game you can do. Here's the the character creation page. You put different things as a higher priorities, and you get more of them. So, for example, if I want to have lots of XP, I start at the high level. I put it on the first place. If I want to have a bigger ship, I put it in first place. If I want to have more contacts, this game works a bit like, if you ever heard of it, City of Gangsters, in the way that you need to have personal contacts to do a lot of things, like access black markets or buy specialty weapons or get specific crew. It all works on the word of mouth. So yeah, you can have high attributes, you have big old stat blocks, whatever. You make your own character. It does not really. Obviously, if you're going for a specific build, which is something a more advanced player would do, you want to customize this, specifically. But for us, we don't really care. I'm just talking about it. So as we can see here, all these contacts, they can do all sorts of stuff. A scientist lets you recruit scientifics, people, gives you special scientific missions. Bounty hunters give you bounty hunting mission. They let you recruit bounty hunters. They let you buy special weapons. You get access to special rumors. Mercenaries, you get special armors. A fixer lets you smuggle, lets you get specialist gear, lets you get access to the black market. Intelligence officer lets you do spy missions. At the beginning of the game, you want to have at least one thing you're good at, your character personally. And the ship, well, just like a cheap one, doesn't really matter. Pro tip for ships: pay close attention to these two stats, speed and agility. Speed and agility are because the game uses a dice system where you throw dices to find out results. You have to know what stats gets translated into how many dices. So, for example, in ship combat, over here, speed is the stat used for long-range ship combat, and agility here is used for short-range ship combat. They give you quote-unquote strong dice. That means that every point becomes a one dice. There's also a thing called weak dice. So, for example, if we have speed and my character has, 15 speed quickness points, then the quickness points become half dice. So half of these points become dices. In other words, you want to know what does what. In the beginning of the game, you won't know any of that. It's fine. I recommend exploring and not being afraid of reloading saves and trying out new things. Eventually, you'll figure it out. And if not, you can always check the wiki. The game has quite the wiki. So we're gonna take this template. Did I actually choose a class? I think I forgot to choose a class. Ugh. Those are my characters. Well, we're a class pirate. Oh well, we have a pirate, which means our character's gonna be good at piracy. Map, default map, factions, there's a ton of factions. They all have special thingies, like the Tulun house here has strong economy and strong starports. Because it's called Star Trader, they have a strong emphasis on trading and trade goods. Clan Moklu here have a strong economy, high government, special rules, special classes. Anyway, just want to all the ratings. So, there's a ton of different clans and houses. They all compete against each other. You have reputations with all of them. The people you encounter in the universe are going to be affiliated with these factions, so they're going to like or dislike you. And difficulty, I've been trying to get into permadeath, so I've been dying and restarting saves often. But I recommend you start in normal or even basic. So you can have a large room for mistakes, and you can reload the save whenever you want to. Anyway, I'm gonna pick one of my own characters because you can see what the game looks like once you're a bit into the game. This is like the early game. It's not the tutorial, but it's not end game either. This is the early game. So I'm currently helping this house here, House Tulun. They're about to get into a assassin war This game reminds me a lot. The lore of the game reminds me a lot of the lore of the Dune universe, except there's no giant empire or space worms. Excuse me, the sandworms, but lots of houses. They don't often go into full-out war. They prefer to use assassins and trade deals and spying to get over each other. And us, the space captains, because for lore reasons, being in space means you're locked into space. You can never leave your ship. Unless you're, well, okay. You can never leave your ship for long periods of times. For what, for scientific mumbo jumbo reasons. So, space people are few and far between, since it's like a whole. It's like abandoning your life on the planet to be in space forever. Also, apparently you can live forever as long as you don't die. Because the engine changes your biology or something. Anyway, that's unimportant. What's important is this house is about to get into a war with another house. We have currently a time limit of, let me see, the case, 3 years and 21 weeks before the war starts. So we have a bunch of missions to do for this house. Like over here, we have to get a witness to a court, so that when the assassin war starts, they're gonna have a case to put to assassinate the heir to the enemy house. Over here, we have to go to the enemy faction and do some diplomatic tension thingy to try and head off the feud. And once all that's done, we have to go back. We'll go back home and pick up new missions. Or, just go and pick up missions at other places. I'm gonna do these two, so you guys can get the gist of the thing. Okay. As you can see over here, as we travel to space, we're gonna have a whole bunch of checks. So over here, we have tactics checks, command checks, piloting check, repair check. Your crew, because your ship is made up of a crew, your crew is gonna have their stats. They're gonna compare with whatever check. If it succeeds, then whatever. If it fails, your crew can have special talents. Like over here, skill save automatically passes a failed test. These are really, in the early game, they're really, 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 really important, okay? You want to have these. You want not just one of them, you want to have multiple of them. Because in the early game, your character is going to be kind of weak, and the chances that you're going to be passing tests is kind of low. And if you fail like 4 or 5 tests in a row, that's going to be really, really bad for your ship. Yeah, you might have a mutiny, you're going to have to spend a bajillion monies in repair costs, or waste a month in healing. So anyway, you want to have these stats. And obviously, as you get higher level, you get more abilities. This is all for space combat. They give you special buff. This game relies on a lot of buffing and debuffing the enemy. It's like a strong part of the meta to have good buffs on you and good debuffs on the enemy. And obviously good damage. But that's just important. What's better? Not killing the enemy in 5 hits, but you receive 2 hits, or killing the enemy in 10 hits, but you never get hit. In terms of costs, raw cost is going to be the latter. Some of my regular crew, they only have one class, they level up, they do stuff. But we can also have officers. They can have multiple classes. They're never going to desert me. They have a stronger chance of not dying if they get to 0 HP, which is useful. Because they can have multi-class, you can have like special builds. Like this guy's a swordsman, bodyguard, so this is for defense, this is for offense. Over here we have a sniper. He like almost one-shots everybody in the game. He's not a good sniper, but he's a sniper. My captain, who's good at a military officer, commander, zealot. All these traits are good for... I'll show you when we get into orbit of a planet. All these traits are useful for when we get into mini games in the game. Spying, patrolling space, exploring planet surfaces. These are all mini games that the game uses. Card-based games. I'll show it off. Like, we get here. I'm gonna patrol, because this is what my character is good at. That's what I mean by when I said earlier that you want your character to be good at one thing. You want your character to be good at one of these actions. Patrolling, blockading, spying. If there's a wreck in orbit, you can also salvage a wreck. You can go on land and explore land. I think there's one more minigame I'm forgetting about. But we want to be good at one of these because you can get lots of faction... damn it. You can get lots of faction reputation by doing these. So, for example, let's say you make for some reason you take a mission for a faction, you get a debuff on your reputation with the other faction. Now you can just make them your enemy, or you can spend a week patrolling their space, regain that faction reputation, and you won't be facing, you know, twice the enemies in space. Boop. Let's see, we arrived too late, the distress ship is already lost. Aw, what a shame. Boop. I tried to get an encounter. Oh, a bounty hunter! So, a bounty hunter on my own house. A bounty hunter was trying to fish out, I don't know, enemies. Since we're allied with them, we could just, you know, leave. But, because I'm past the early game, I actually have a couple of things that let me help with in this kind of situation. I'm just gonna surrender. The captain's edict was enough to dissuade any search of the ship. So because I'm high enough rank with one faction, as you get high enough rank and you have some contacts, you can buy edicts and permits. For example, trade permits, you can trade into illegal goods. Well, they're not illegal in all circumstances, but they're illegal for low-rank traders. You can have edicts for capturing criminals, or you can have military rankings, so you can buy and work with the allied house's military. So in this case, because I have an edict, I just don't get to... He just doesn't get to do anything to my cargo, which I don't have any cargo, by the way. A zealot from another faction. Once again, I'm going to submit to inspection. The same thing should happen. Trade edicts are faction-wide, in space. When you're in space, your edicts work for all factions. When you're on a planet, it only works for that one faction. So, for example, if I have a trade edict of level 1, I don't know. If I have a trade edict of level 1, and I have a level 1 good in my cargo hold, for the faction, the red faction, and this guy comes in here, and searches my cargo hold, and he sees the level 1 good, even though for his faction it's illegal for me to have it because I don't have a trade edict with him, because I have an edict with another faction, it's legal, I think. That's how that works. Anyway, search me. He searched my ship but found nothing. Who cares? And here, we get some reputation because we face a smuggler. So we get 12 reputation at the cost of 1 reputation with the smuggler's house. And I don't even have to fight them. Anyway. So there's these mini games. They also come often in, you know, missions. Sometimes ask you to do spy work or patrol work or blockading or salvaging or exploring or whatever. So it comes in handy. Many welcome, Star Trader. Greetings, security officer. Is there something wrong? You're the captain here on behalf of Eric Fine. This is the guy who sent me here. The one and only. We are here to collect witness for an important legal case. Lycia Morgan? Yes, exactly. The ex-quartermaster of the Orion. I'm sorry to tell you that she has been murdered. What? She's dead on your arrival, Captain. Could Eris Char have visited the enemy house? Curse the pit, what happened? 2 days ago, someone broke into their flat and murdered her. It was not a robbery, it was an obvious hit. You're going to have to give me the full report, officer. Eric Fawn will want to hear this personally. My team is still investigating, but I can share what we know. What we know is that the killer was an unfolder who arrived on a Steel Song ship. It was a blatant kill by the Char. The other witnesses will be next if they're still alive. We should bring the news back immediately, or we should stay and try to learn who ordered the hit. It might take a week. It's, you know, a choice to make. A choice to make that we're gonna have to make. I'm gonna say... It might be a Steel Song ship that isn't part of the... It might be somebody else who ordered the hit, so let's stay here and try to find who did it. Officer Lawson, consider myself and my officers at your disposal to help investigate the killing. We're Eric's agents in this case, and we need to know everything we can, so we can take back a full report to the Prince. I'm not sure how much help you can be, but I will allow you access to the case files and out of respect for the fine. This has taken days. While Officer Lawson is thorough, it feels that he moves at a glacial pace. We all miss the freedom of the void, and I miss the freedom of command. Here everything is wrapped in the red threads of grav bureaucracy. Grav meaning gravity. Captain, you've got to see this. Lawson's team found something useful? That's my quartermaster. That's my sniper. The trail has gone cold, but they've got some success in piecing together the coming and goings of the assassins. Assassins with an S? There were 2 of them, a man and a woman. They were unregistered at the ship. On the ship they slipped off. The captain claims that she had no idea they were aboard. What you've got to see is the security feed from the Starport cargo warehouse. That's Torka. They're in disguise, but you can't hide that silver hair. We had to get some spy agents into the enemy house. And it looks like these enemy agents are killing our own witnesses. And that swagger, it's K-Wall without a doubt. Curse them to the pit. Those two are the killers. They slipped off a steel song ship to point the murder back to the Char. Then Eric is having his own witnesses murdered. He's tilting his own case in hopes to pin it on Aerlu's Char. But we're the only ones who would identify Torka and K-Wall and to link them back to Eric. Yeah, so he got spies into the enemy's ranks, and then got the enemy's ranks spies to kill his own witnesses to make the case in his favor. It's time to go. Eric will be waiting for us to help enact whatever step in his bloody plan is next. We'll have to decide where we stand. Eric's obviously willing to crack asteroids to get his revenge. You need to speak with me, Captain? Officer Lawson, we have delayed long enough. We must return to Eric Fan with what data we have. You must pursue this case as thoroughly as you can. Document everything. The Fan will need your files when it comes time to revenge this killing. Our mission has been cut short, but we've been paid for the first leg. Also gained major experience. Yeah, we're supposed to take the witness and get him to court, but that's not gonna happen, obviously. So we're on world, I'm gonna refuel, I'm gonna pay my wages. Whenever you pay wages, that's when your crew levels up, so it's good to pay wages. Here's my quartermaster who's leveled up. Let me see, do I want him to be level more than level 11? Level 15, you get a special skill, but it's not gonna be useful for me, so I'm gonna go and up his commander skills instead. Okay, he's the only one who leveled up that had anything, you know, to do. When people level up, it's not, you don't always have something to do with them. No recruits I want. Let's see, we're off to 4 jumps away to the enemy capital world. Let me buy some cargo on the way there. Let's see, clothes are a good investment. The game has interesting trading mechanics, you know, it is called Star Traders after all. Over here you can see the global average for items. So this is the $50 is the average price. 90 is the maximum price, so you can only hope to make up to 90 bucks when you sell. And here you have the actual price of the item on world. And as you buy it, it's gonna become more expensive because there's less of it. So we have grain. I can buy 68 units of grain. They're in demand in a refinery, population zones, and luxury population zones. I want to buy something that's gonna go from a farming place to a refinery place, or a, let's see, refinery, mining. Those are pretty good. Clothes are, I always like clothes. Hydrocarbon, crude, aka oil. Refinery, industrial. So now we have a destination, a refinery or industrial zone. Anything else? Refinery, industrial, mining. Sure. So we have mining, industrial, refinery worlds. Those are going to be our next destinations. Because we have like a couple of jumps to do to the next destination, we're going to have to stop at some point to refuel. And we're going to have to pick our landing spot to refuel to be of a independent spy. He's pretty strong. I'm going to retreat. Independents, because they're not affiliated with any faction, you can just do whatever you want with them, if you can, without any reputation loss. Yeah, so we have to pick our landing spot carefully so we actually sell our goods for a profit. It'll pay for the fuel, and maybe if we're lucky we can make so much money. Here's a refinery. We can make so much money that we can just make a straight up a profit, not just fuel money. Let's see, sell cargo. I can make about 7,000 bucks with the clothes, about 1,000 bucks with the fuel, and the food. I'll just sell it, it's fine. We lose 2 bucks. And on the next stop, let's go to like an industrial world. Industrial world. Boop. Excuse me. Refuel. And keep going. Now we're looking for industrial world. Jump. Takes a while. That's a population zone. There's an industrial world. As you go in different places, they're going to have different rumors. Those are basically effects. So this space, this quadrant has a pirate fleet, so you're more likely to encounter pirates. And it's going to affect the economy and the contacts and stuff. On specific worlds, they can have rumors, so a world can be quarantined, it can be having a festival or something. Money. About 8,000 buckaroos. Sometimes factions can have specific trade bans or trade embargoes with each other, so if you break the embargo, you lose reputation. Usually makes it not worth it to break the embargo because the reputation you lose is going to be more than you can buy back if you were to just give money to the faction who, you know, embargoed, broked. Boop, boop. Let's see, who leveled up? One of my officers, the sniper guy. I want him to be as high level as possible. And back out. Well, and we have an explorer from the friendly house. We can just say acknowledge because we're in good reputation. Even gives us even more reputation. Jump. What did I just buy? Clothes and medicine. I think we can make it all the way to the enemy, quote-unquote enemy. Enemy of my house, but not my enemy personally. I did a couple of... there's a radiation storm. Uh-oh. Looks like we made it. There's a refinery world and a farming world. The clothes I have would be better off in a population zone, but it seems like there's none of these guys. Also, somebody got injured at some point. Explorer, where you don't have to mess with them. Obviously, I'm in a trading / cargo ship. I've been specializing my ship to be good at retreating if we ever get into combat, so we have super long range weapons and lots of buffs to retreating. So I'm not exactly confident in getting into fights. So as we failed some of these tests, we see somebody got injured, somebody has low morale. We'll spend some time in this planet to refill all these bars. Boop. Boop. Let's see, what would this sell? Farming? Anything else that can go well in farming locations? Yeah, these crystals, for some reason. And we're full. Okay, refuel. We're overdue because I kind of put off these missions for a while, so we're overdue with them. We will get an assist negotiator in his dangerous mission into the maw of the enemy. On Steel Song Prima, we'll meet with the dignitaries of the High Princess to try to head off the incoming feud. So now we get a choice of what to do. We can join the negotiations for increasing our pay, but if we mess it up, we're going to lose more reputation with this faction. I'm just going to escort them. We made our point as best as we could, Captain. I'm not sure they did one stitch of good. Princess Aitan Char is respected and powerful. Either they fear her, or they're secretly rooting for her under the Retribution's justice. Tell the prince that he should seek peace in the violence. Welp. Currently, the two houses are trying... half of the friendly house is trying to... excuse me. Half of our friendly house is trying to stop the violence, and while the other half is trying to prepare for the violence. At the risk of actually making the violence come to, reality. Let's make our way back. That'll be that for today. We didn't do any combat. I'd like to do some crew combat, but we didn't have the opportunity to do that. Boop. A new talent. Let me see. Anything good? I'm not high enough for this. Buff the ship with a lot of stuff. When patrolling a system, you can replace a risk with a mission success. Ooh, that's good. Sometimes when you have missions, obviously you're gonna have like a mission that asks me to go and get a spy. I'm gonna have to go and patrol until we find the spy and then we kill him. However, you have a 20% chance because there's 5 cards. You have a 20% chance of getting a good card. Every time you mess up, you're gonna get a bonus 2% chance. So eventually, if you do it long enough, you're gonna get it. But this thing we just got is gonna make it way easier to do patrol missions. Anyway, let me land on the farming. Oh, that's busted. I can just go from the refinery to the farming land and sell it again and again and again. Let me do that. It takes a day to land. Let's see, we're at day 5, land. Day 6. Anything that's good for farming? Yes. All this stuff. How much money do we make? $1,000. Okay, it's not amazing, but still. I'm gonna guess the price are reduced because they're on the same planet. This is only... So as you can see, every place has these numbers here. So the higher economy, higher population, starport, military, government, spice, trade. For our purposes as a trader, we're looking for trade law and also economy. The lower the trade law, the more illegal quote-unquote goods can be available. So for example, here we can buy alcohol. In high trade law worlds, it's just illegal to buy alcohol. It's also illegal to sell it. So we can come to this world, buy the alcohol legally, and go to one of my black markets and sell it illegally. For example, let me buy something that's going to be expensive. That's not going to be illegal. This. And let's make our way back. As you can see here, we learned of a new contact, a prison warden. One of our talents does that. Whenever we land, we have a chance of finding new contacts. Okay, let's make our way back. We are looking for an industrial world to refuel. Oop. Because I'm in a trading ship and I have some upgraded stuff, we have a big old fuel gauge, but in the beginning of the game, this fuel gauge is going to be much shorter, so you're going to have to do a lot of refueling. That's why I got my habit of picking up stuff to sell at certain points. Let me land, sell cargo for about 3,000 bucks, pays for the fuel and the wages, and buy something else. Let's see. Oh, because we don't have any permits, we can buy some of the good stuff. Actually, you know what? Let me find the allied place where I have actual permits to buy stuff over there. That's a population center. Nah, never mind. Permits not only make it illegal to buy goods and sell them, it also is kind of like a way to make houses. It gives their profits to the allied traders to the nation. So, for example, they barter high worth goods like, you know, advanced medicine. It's illegal for low-ranking people to buy them because in that case, it means because it's trade permit related to buy and sell, only the people that are allied with the nation will be able to buy and sell the goods legally. So it means that in theory, these goods should stay within their space. Obviously, if you have, you know, permits with every single house, then it's not going to be true, but that's for way later. And you buy some good stuff for refinery zones. There we go. Let's be on the lookout for a refinery zone. Here's a friendly pirate. Oh, bye. In fact, you saw that? I didn't see that, but it said protected by trade permit. Because this is a pirate of our own faction, our permits work against him. Because they're more like privateers than pirates. They're pirates that work for a faction. They're aligned. They're not neutral or out for themselves. Well, they may be out for themselves, but still. They're not illegal across all of the space. Here's another merchant. Hello. Bye-bye. Ooh, we're trying to fail some of these tests. Let's land, sell. For about what? That's fuel money. We haven't been doing any really good trades so far. Repair, heal for a day. Going to the tavern for a bit. Now we're off to a population zone, so let's buy something for populations. Let's see. With good prices. And these are pretty good. Medicines. We can make some money. Hydrocarbon fuel. Ooh, that's really good. Population zones, hell yeah. Let's sell some oil. We're almost there. Oh, I forgot to level up some of my guys. You can just auto-train people. It works fine in the beginning when if you're a first-time player, auto-train is fine. But I prefer now, since I'm more advanced, I prefer to manually train my people. Let's see. Over here. This guy's for crew combat, whenever we get into boarding actions or on-foot combat. Let me find some good talents for him. Honor Guard, Hamstring Slice. Low blow, Strength of Steel. Excuse me. Let me have Devastating Charge. It works. The combat in this game works a bit like Darkest Dungeon, if you've ever seen it, where there's 4 people in 4 positions. Your skills are position locked. So you want to move if you don't, or either you don't or you do want to move around positions using skills to avoid wasting time and turns. Anyway, let's make it back and stop for today. A short-ish trip. It was a pretty long trip. We had to make 10 jumps in total to go to the enemy capital. Let's see, how much do we sell our stuff? Hey, lots of monies. Huzzah. I'm trying to get a recruited merchant because, as you can see, I'm doing lots of trading, but we don't get anything apart from the money. We don't get anything extra. We don't get any faction reputation. We don't get any information. We don't get any like rumors or anything. If we had a merchant in our crew or as an officer, we'd have a lot of extra stuff like we could break embargoes, and not only would you lose reputation for the enemy, breakage, but you would gain reputation for the people you're breaking the embargo for. Or you can just whenever you do a big transactions of more than $5,000, you have a chance of fighting a new contact or getting intel or something like that. So I'm trying to get a merchant, and for that I'm trying to work my contact. I discovered him recently. This spice trader. He needs more influence. He needs to be at 20 influence so I can recruit merchants with him. So I need to do missions for him, sell him intel. Yeah, that's it. I need to do missions and sell intel to him. So yeah, that's my current goal. Also, with this story, helping this house not die is also my goal. Anyway, this is for the mission where we want to negotiate with the enemies, which didn't go well, but we still get paid for it. That's the entire tale. I expect nothing less. Till your visit, send a message. Perhaps something will come of it. Money! And we have to talk with the prince, the guy who sent assassins after his own witnesses. Yeah, we're decently for your return, Star Trader, but now I fear that we have bad news for each other. Our second witness is dead. She was poisoned. There's no doubt in my mind that Arliss is responsible for this. We have to decide if we should confront him or just play along. If we do call him out, we need to make it clear whether we're willing to play his game or not. It seems with that renegotiation trip we did to the enemy capital, it doesn't seem like this is like they're gonna avoid the fight. So this spy game of killing the witnesses to make their case better for when the assassination court opens up. Because basically what's gonna happen is there was an incident here, lots of people died, and now these two houses are in conflict with each other. They're having legal cases against each other. In 3 years from now, the case is going to be closed, and the judge is going to award compensation to the hurt house. However, the hurt house can refuse compensation and instead ask monetary compensation, and instead ask for blood compensation, where they're going to be able to legally assassinate each other. When that happens, a new court opens, an assassin's court, and people can bring their cases. It goes both sides, by the way. People can bring cases to the Assassin's Court to legally assassinate each other. So right now, this guy is trying to make a case to assassinate the enemy's heir to the throne. So, yeah. For revenge. Let me see. We know your assassins are killing. We won't take part in this bloody scheme. We know your game. We're willing to keep playing, but let us behind the curtain. Yes. Let's do some spy stuff. What are you talking about, Captain? There's no need to dissemble, Eric. Your assassins, Torka and Kewal, were less sneaky than they should have been for this kind of work. You figured it all out, Eric. The case's entire second wind. You expertly fabricated it as well as witnesses in order to take out Arliss Char. Now you're just putting the finishing touches on it, having the witnesses killed in ways to point back to Arliss. Of course, Torka and Kewal came off a Steel Song ship because we dropped them off in a Steel Song holding. That's quite a crackpot theory you have, Captain. We're not trying to get anything from you, Carrick, but we won't play dumb. Let us behind the curtain. We can be so much more useful to you. You're very sharp, Captain. You've also done a good job weighing your options and picking your right ally. We have a lot to offer each other. Indeed we do. Then you know what I need from you next. Pick up Officer Korak. He's under tight guard by the security team. He'll be safe until he reaches the court. When you hand him over to the judge, a team of assassins is waiting to make a hit. You have to play along. You have to fight for real, to the death. If you're unable to protect Korak, then he dies and the blame will have fallen Arliss. The evidence and credit will lead back to the Car homeworld. If Korak survives and you say the assassins, all the better. The fan champions save the day. But Torek and Kewal will get him that evening. And the blame will fall on Wellen and Arliss. The death warrant will sign itself. Eric has been playing this thing for some time. It's deep and it's well orchestrated. Eric Fan will give me an offer. We have gained a moderate experience. And he paid us bonus. Hey. Yeah, so this court, there's lots of plots going on. I already refused a couple of plots, so I guess I had to pick one up, otherwise we were just gonna be at the dead end. Anyway, as you can see, I really like this game. Just right now, with these choices we have to make for these missions, the implications, the things we have to do. For example, for this mission, we're gonna have a phase where we're gonna do some combat, some on-crew combat. And we can fail. We can just fail. I can just send my bad guys I can just have a sacrificial pawn. I can just hire a guy right now. I can hire, I don't know, a pistolier, send him over by himself. He'll lose. And boom, we still do the mission. Anyway, excuse me. I like this game a lot. It's got good opportunities for role playing. It's got a well-developed world and lore, good mechanics. It is a bit, however, a word of warning, it is a bit hard. It is hard to get into, hard to understand, hard to navigate. Lots of things can kill you. Any fight, any ship fighting, has a good chance of killing you if you're the weaker opponent. So I would recommend not doing what I'm doing right now, playing on permadeath mode, super hard, ultra, super hard mode. Instead, go on easy first. It's gonna help a lot, I swear. It helps you understand the game. And at burst, if for some reason nothing of this works out, you can just go to the wiki or the lore book. Anyway, that'll be all for today. Excuse me. Boo boo.